are very, very strong. So with Asian papers, I always recommend that people cut them. Don't try to tear them. You saw how hard, I mean, I'll let this out, and if you want to try and tear, like to make it just, it's very, very difficult, okay? So I always recommend that you use a ruler and a knife to cut the paper. So 14 and a half. And let's double check the size. So yes, our paper is 25 inches by, I bet, 37. Yep. So because it's so large, I know I'm only going to be able to get 2 per, but I'll have a big, nice chunk left over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my 14 and a half this way. So I line it up where it needs to be. So there's one that I chopped. And I always use my grid to make sure that it's square-ish. So now I'm going to have a little chunk over here that I could use for a small print if I wanted to. So this over here. So whenever you have scraps like this, you can either keep them or we can put them down here. If you have a scrap that's smaller than, say, 2 inches, don't save it. Just throw it away in the trash, okay? Every year I find kids that dump their paper scraps in this. This is for matte scraps, so don't put paper in here. The paper box is right here, okay? So every year I find kids with like little tiny fragments of paper in there. And to be honest with you, that's not worth saving. So if it's not at least 2 inches wide, which we can test colors on, don't save it, okay? So now I have my nice leftover right there. And I think I cut this wrong. We're gonna improvise. Be a little smaller, it's okay. And then I'm going to cut it down to be the right length. You can actually stack 2 or 3 on top of each other and use the knife to cut it, but I would not go any more than that. And to get an addition of prints, unlike the monotypes, so see pieces like this, let's throw that away, okay? So you know how with the monotypes that we only printed 1 copy, right? Because it's not a process that you can get identical copies. Well, this one you're actually going to do something called additioning, okay? So that means that once you get your print printed to where it's really nice, you're going to print 6 identical copies. Now, to get 6 identical copies, usually that means that you have to print like 10 to get it to where they all look good. Anything that's uneven, you'll want to like not keep, okay, or don't turn in, okay? So, now that your paper's torn down,